wonderful podcast, Everything Hollywood, with my buddy, Larry Namer. But, Larry, he's not in the studio. Where are you?
Hey, yeah, no, I've actually had to do this virtual today because I'm headed to Carlsbad, California. Immediately after we finish taping this, there's a kind of a meeting that goes on, a 2-day thing at Dr. Greg Reed's house where he has a lot of these people who do these self-help books and they come in, exchange ideas, kind of a think tank thing, and they've asked me to come and speak. So I'm headed down to Carlsbad today, and then from Carlsbad I go to La Jolla for the International Fashion and Film Awards, and I'm presenting there. So I'm pretty well going to be gone for the next 4 days and stuff. So we need to do this virtual, and now I see what you look like on TV. You know?
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to join me virtually. It's always more fun, obviously, to have you in the studio. But let's talk about what's going on. Lately, one of the things that stood out to me just a few days ago was about the Disney movie Black Widow, where Disney decided to release Black Widow, which is a major film, simultaneously on Disney Plus and the movie theaters at the same time, which sort of caused a little bit of a stir from the theater owners because they were thinking that they're probably not making enough revenue because the fact that it's also being released on Disney Plus. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think that with the pandemic, the it's not that the world necessarily has changed; it's just certain changes have accelerated. Um, People have gotten very, very used to watching quality content on the digital platforms, and you don't have to go to the movie theater to see a movie anymore. Then with the pandemic coming, it really has changed the way people think of movies. You take like me, where it could be like a Friday afternoon. I'm going, gee, I don't have much to do. Maybe I'll go to the movies, and I would look up and see what's playing, and I would pick a movie without really the movie being the destination. And but quite honestly, I don't see myself doing that anymore. I mean, if it's a big movie that I want to see and I want to see it with an audience, yes, I'll go to a theater, but I'm not going to attend movie theaters the way I used to. So, from an exhibitor point of view, yes, they want to make it so the only way you'll ever get to see a movie is if you go to a movie theater. But from a studio point of view, you want to make that movie accessible to everybody who might possibly want to see it, make it available on whatever device they want to see it, or if they want to see it in a movie theater, and kind of maximize your profits, and also kind of minimize the risk there. So by putting it on a digital platform, I mean, for a person like me, I was not going to go to the movie theater to see that movie, but I'm going to pay to watch it in my house. So, as these movies, particularly the superhero Marvel movies, get more and more expensive, you can't just rely on just the theatrical run, making you whole or covering your risk or your downside. So, from a producer point of view, I'm 100% for it, but I certainly understand the issues that the exhibitors have, and unfortunately, that's life. Things have changed, and they're never going to be quite the way they were before, and they're going to have to get used to the fact that this is going to be more common than just on Black Widow. It's going to be the norm, I think, within a very short period of time.
No, I hear you. I mean, I don't know. I think the exhibitors. I mean, this just could be my thinking is, they should have a little bit of like a window of maybe a week or so. But so what you're saying is you agree the way Disney went about this, right? So to release it simultaneously because someone like yourself, who may not go to the theaters anymore, you you're okay by watching it at home on Disney Plus, right? So you're okay the fact that they're not giving them any window at all before releasing it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think that let's say the loss of revenue for the exhibitors is minimal. Um, Again, not that it's ever going to go back to the way it was, but if you measure events, the people who are inclined to go to the movies, are they going to the movies? Are they going to choose to watch it on the large screen TV set? Um, I don't think the exhibitors are really losing that much, and I think Disney is doing the smart thing by offering it. All I've always been a proponent for when you have a media project should be whenever people want to watch it on whatever device they want to watch it. You should make it all possible.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm okay with that too. And I remember when Mulan came out, that was I think the first time. I could be wrong, but I think it was the first time that Disney did that, where they released simultaneously. Am I right, Larry? Was Mulan released simultaneously also a Disney
Yes,
Plus? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking because, looking because we get Disney Plus, and I thought, wow, that cost like $30 to watch this, and I thought, you know what, we'll just wait a little bit, and that's what happened. We waited less than a month, and it was just part of the Disney Plus,
it is.
movies. So yeah, no, I really appreciate your thoughts on this, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. So thank you for
Yeah.
letting us know about it. And then we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
We're all fans of something or someone, investing our time and loyalty, but getting little in return. Well, it's about to change forever with Fanvestor, a platform that lets you get in on celebrity businesses early on, buy shares of their new startups, support a charity and new product drops, and share once-in-a-lifetime experiences with them.
What's up, it's Amari Stoudemire here, and we're launching Masa with Fanvestor to offer a limited edition, perks, products, and experience to my fans.
Here's how it works. Go to fanvestor.com. Choose an opportunity you want to get in on. Click here and there, and you're done. Go check your email for the investor's certificate. And don't forget to check back often for updates on your new business investment. It's official now. Celebrate your support with an experience. Go 10 rounds in the gym with Amare, get a matching tattoo with super dope Q, or get on FaceTime and hang out by the pool with DJ Khaled. After all, you're more than a fan now. You're a Fanvestor.
Welcome back to the show. Right before the commercial, we were talking about movie theaters and Disney Plus and the movie Black Widow. Now, Larry, talking about movie theaters, one thing that I just heard that Regal Theaters bought ArcLight chain theaters. So, what are your thoughts on that, and how do you think that's going to impact the theater business?
Well, I think it's a great show of faith in the theater business. I mean, I've been a little bit pessimistic about the theater business going forward, but Regal is an incredibly well-run business. They bought ArcLight, and ArcLight has some great theaters and stuff, and has done a great job. I mean, they own the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood, which is historical. Um, but you couple that with looking at the AMC stock prices. Um, it's never been better. I mean, they're doing gangbuster business, in the stock market anyway. And so, maybe I'm wrong. I've been a little pessimistic about the theater business, movie theater business, but the stock market and the real buy is kind of going opposite of the way I think. So, to be seen.
Yeah, I know you've been a little pessimistic about this whole theater business, and and so was I. But I'll tell you something: that the more people I talk to about this, and the people that have actually been to the movies, like our studio manager Johnny, and a lot of other people I talk to, they actually had a really good experience, and they've been, overall, it's been really positive. Now, I don't know, it's the fact that they haven't been to the theaters in a while and now they're going back. It's a good experience, but I'm just saying, for me, obviously, going to the theaters and going to the movies has always been a great experience. But something that I think you and I touched on before is that um, the theater business, I think it's going more towards like a boutique kind of theaters, right? Something that is more special, something that more like an experience, right, Larry?
Yeah, I think the way they're going in, and I'm just trying to read into what like the Regal thinking was when they got involved in the ArcLight deal. Um, the theaters in my mind that I would go to just to go to a theater are the ones that are doing kind of this luxury experience, like a Cinepolis, where you could go and you got a great chair and it reclines, and you could get dinner while you had dinner and drinks. And I mean, that's an experience, not just going to a movie; it's a whole experience, and it's date night and stuff like that. So I think, looking at Regal and how kind of forward thinking they've been throughout the years, um, I think they have more in mind than just taking over and running ArcLight the way ArcLight was running. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these guys with the clout that they have in the movie business get into the day and date streaming business too. So while Disney may be doing it themselves, maybe you're going to see a Regal or somebody start kind of a Regal service where they'll get the movies from the studios and then offer that to you for 20 or 30 bucks on day and date. So whether you go to the theater or you watch it in your house, they're still making money. That's kind of like what I'm looking at and saying, what's their motivation for doing this? What's the next move? I think there is a next move.
Yeah, I mean, but look, but what we talked about earlier about Black Widow, now Disney's exactly what they're doing, right? They're releasing it in the theaters, but they're also putting it on Disney Plus. Is that kind of what you're saying, or what you're saying is the theater chain itself will also have a portal that we could go to and watch the movie as well?
Yeah, I think you'll see that case, where you may have, let's call it a Regal, service or something. Somebody could aggregate the movies that are coming out in the theater and putting them on TV, day and date at the same time. I mean, not everybody could be a Disney. Disney has a large volume of stuff coming out. Disney has a lot of experience in the TV distribution business or the video distribution business. Not every person, or every entity has that capability that Disney has. So I think you'll see somebody like a Regal or an AMC with a lot of clout with the studios kind of move into that space.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. So we will be right back.
Start it up.
Welcome back to the show. Larry, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on the social media front and Clubhouse, an app that I like and I've been a part of. They're going. They're no longer by invite only. If you guys, I don't know how much people know about Clubhouse, but it used to be by invite only, but now they opened it to everyone. So, what are your thoughts? You've told me a little bit about Clubhouse. I've had rooms where you attended, and we had a lot of people. So, what are your thoughts about that Clubhouse going public?
Sure. Well, if you think about Facebook, at one time, Facebook was the same thing. You had to have an EDU email address to get on Facebook. You had to be a student. And then, after they hit a certain size, they opened it up to everybody. Now with Clubhouse, while it was a restricted service that had invite only, but they built a waiting list. So over the next few weeks, they're going to let people from the waiting list in. And then starting now, I think, or this week, uh, you could go as a new sign up and you could just sign up and get Clubhouse. But you and I have talked about this, and I'm not a big fan of Clubhouse. I thought I call it a pandemic wonder. When a lot of people are sitting home and they don't have a heck of a lot to do, you go on Clubhouse and you have this human interaction and stuff, which I think it filled a void. But I'm wondering, saying when things get back a little more to normal and people could go out and they could go back to work in offices and things like that, will you still have the same amount of attention that on Clubhouse that you had before? And my feeling is no, you won't. Um, and then I think it's becoming a little bit of a commodity. I'm not sure what they do that some of the big giants like a Facebook can't do themselves. So
No, I know. And then, of course, Spotify came up with Green Room, and Twitter is doing Spaces. Facebook is doing their own thing. So I think all most of the social media platforms, including Spotify, now they want to get into this space. And I can see, being on Clubhouse almost on a daily basis. I'm definitely seeing it grow. And I think it's here to stay. You're absolutely right. I mean, during pandemic, a lot of people spend so much time on it, including myself. I've spent a lot of time, but then obviously we're busy now, we're doing things, so you wind up spending less time. But the nice thing with Clubhouse is you really get that interaction with people. You really have relationships with people, and you can get on it at any time. Anytime you have some time, you can get on it, and I think it's very different than any other social media platform. So,
well, first of all, I'm going to talk to your wife. You definitely have way too much time on your hands. You know, she's. I know she's busy working. She's going to have to give you more household chores to do, so you're not.
believe me, I got enough going on. I got enough going on. Yes, I agree.
But again, just listening to you, and I love you, Omar. But uh, it's kind of like the same thing I hear from people going on Facebook. Oh, I have 5,000 friends. No, you don't. You got people that are there, but really you got three friends. And I think the same thing with Clubhouse. And to me, it's like a bunch of people in a room shouting over each other. Everybody's there. I could say I'm doing a movie, and next thing somebody's going, yeah, but I'm doing five movies, and I just raised $20 million for a company. I raised 500 million. It's a lot of puffing and chest pounding and stuff like that. And I I liken it to when Foursquare came out. You know, Foursquare, you had to like put down where you were and what you were doing, and you got a badge. And after like a month of accumulating badges, I just kind of said, "Why am I doing this?" I think Clubhouse goes that by the same thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I told you before, I do agree with you on that. And there's a lot of, you know, yeah, there's a lot of people out there, and just there's a lot of nonsense going on too. But you wind up making. I guess I just speak personally. I've made some relationship with some really genuinely, you know, nice people on Clubhouse that I otherwise it's hard for me to do it on Instagram or do it somewhere else, because it's just people, they put a like or they comment, you don't really know. But moving on to something else that's been really interesting is TikTok. um, just recently announced that you can make longer videos. Now everyone knows that, before TikTok was, I think you were limited to a 1 minute video. Now you can go up to make it up to 3 minutes. So I want to get your thoughts on that, Larry. And I know you watch TikTok. I know you've cast sometimes on TikTok. So I'm really interested to get your thoughts on it.
Well, first, I just want to say, with regard to Clubhouse, what I want you to do is make a list of your best Clubhouse friends. And then in 3 months, I want to go over the list with you to see how many of them you're still considering your closest Clubhouse friends. But put that
I
aside.
knew you were going to say that.
I think TikTok is, I think they're making a big mistake. I think what made TikTok work is from a creative point of view, having that 1 minute, it really made you think of how you make that 1 minute fun and tight and stuff like that. I think by opening up, I mean, it's no different than YouTube videos now and stuff like that. So I think they took away the special quality there. And I think they took away the thing that forced you to be very thoughtful and do the most with every single second that you had available to you. I think once you open it up, you're taking a lot of that away. And I love TikTok because I could go through 10 different things in like 10 minutes. If I got to start spending, 3, 4, 5 minutes on a video, I might as well watch YouTube.
Yeah. What do you think was the thinking behind doing that? I mean, do you think they're getting pressure from other platforms to do longer videos? Where do you think that thinking comes from?
Well, I think it's kind of a malady that affects a lot of new services, and where they do very good at a certain niche kind of thing, and then they begin to take that publicity a little too seriously and think they could be everything to everybody. I think it's tactically a big mistake by what they're doing. I think that format that they had worked so amazingly well that they should stick with it. I mean, I watched this thing over the last few days. It's kind of a whole series of programming about some band out of Detroit called Greta Van Fleet that I've never heard of. But there's hundreds, if not thousands, of TikToks that have started, and they're 30 seconds, 45 seconds. They're fun, they're interesting, they're different. I can watch. If I had to watch 3, 4 minutes of it, it wouldn't have the same appeal to me as the short form stuff does.
I agree. I think that's what makes TikTok interesting to watch, and that's what really makes TikTok. Once really you're out of that, then you're like what everyone else, right? Because
Then you YouTube.
yeah, exactly. And then YouTube is doing the same thing with shorts, because obviously people are doing longer, videos on that platform. Now they want to be like TikTok and do the shorts. So you're absolutely right. If they try to copy each other, but I agree with you. I think TikTok is making a mistake by expanding or extending the time on their videos. So really good to get your perspective, and we will be right back.
Cause I had no idea. I feel like I did too much. I feel like I did too much. Let's get all yeah, I need all I feel like I did too much. I feel like I did too much. Yeah, let's party yeah, I need all
What's up? It's Omar Akram here, and we're launching Masa with Fanvestor to offer a limited edition, perks, products, and experience to my fans.
I let little shawty come here and take your place. Keep my love, you too excited.
One. Larry, you mentioned earlier that you're going to San Diego, to La Jolla, to attend the International Fashion and Film Festival. Just wanted to know a little bit more about it. I know I heard about it, but can you tell us a little bit more about that event and what would you be doing?
Yeah, every year they've had it. Obviously, last year was an anomaly. They couldn't do it during COVID, but it's live again this year. It was started some years ago by a guy named Fred Sweet, who was a real aficionado of the impact that fashion has in film and television, and things like that. So he started this festival, and it truly is international. Um, they choose from films all over the world. People come from all over the world, the nominees and stuff like that. So I've been a presenter the last few years. I get to do the Best Picture award. The good part is I give out the biggest award. The bad part is that my award is the last one of the evening. So even if I'm ready to fall asleep, I've got to sit through till the very end. And so it's in La Jolla, which is a great place. So I get to go down for 2 days and go to their various events, and then Saturday night is the awards, and it's really cool. It's very different, and the people that come in, who are the designers and the filmmakers who are making these fashion forward films. They're unbelievably passionate about it. So you get to meet some good people, and it's fun and stuff like that. And I think this is about my fifth or sixth year doing it.
So this is films related to fashion, correct?
Um, some of them are related to fashion, or others are mainstream films where fashion plays a heavy impact.
Okay. Wow, that sounds really interesting. I wish I would have gone too. I was not invited. You know, but maybe next year someone will invite me from that organization.
Maybe if this podcast gets big, they may give you a press pass even.
Yes, yes, I might become. So speaking of press pass in media, there's been how shall I say this in a more delicate way, but there's been a resurgence of fake sort of media moguls, people that are claiming to have these big networks, people claiming to have, you know, upwards of 1 billion views on their channels. Um, Very hard to verify, but they are able to um, get people to pay. They're getting to scam people. It almost seems like that's getting more and more, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of people are not able to do certain things or able to attend events. So they thought, oh, I'm going to get onto this network, and they have all this viewership. But I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it because it's I heard from a few people that are really not very happy because they got scammed or they were able to. In one case, I know they actually had to pay money to be a part of this quote unquote network, but really it turned out to be really nothing. So I want to get your thoughts. I mean, we know that this kind of thing's been going on, you know, forever. But do you think there's something new here, the resurgence? And I want to get your thoughts on it.
Sure, I think there's a lot of people who are kind of, let's say, newbies to this new digital world that we're living in don't really understand the dynamics of the way that the world works. Back in the pure TV days, we had these things, Nielsen ratings, and Nielsen would take a TV network and would be able to tell you how many people really watched it and how long and all of that kind of stuff there. And everything was really based on true viewership. If somebody wasn't watching, they didn't count as watching or anything like that. And, if you wanted that broad exposure, you had to, take ads or somehow get integrated into one of those TV shows. Now, these days, with the internet, I think a lot of people have changed the term network. Like I go out and meet somebody, I go, I say, I'm the founder of E. They say, oh, you only started one network? I've got 7 networks. And, I have no idea of a network is a website. At the end of the day, it's nothing more than a website. And what they claim is they'll go to people who, again, really don't understand it and get them to put up money to be part of it and get the exposure. They go, well, my network reaches 1 billion people. Well, the internet reaches 1 billion people. Your network, how many people are really watching, I think is the true test of it. So just because in the TV world, If you just take the U.S., you take my network E. Um, you know, there's 110 million TV homes that E is available in. But you can't say, oh, we reach 110 million homes every day. Is they're available in the 110 million homes, but that doesn't mean anybody's watching. So you really got to get down to what are the real metrics that you look at. And I listen to a lot of these people saying, "Oh, we have over a billion views." No, they don't have over a billion views. They're available in over a billion homes, but when you dig into the numbers, you find out that 10 people actually watched it. So, unfortunately, a lot of these people who are not terribly sophisticated in media are paying, you know, large monthly retainers for what they think is getting them, massive exposure. And at the end of the day, they find out they're really getting no exposure. So they spend money for a few months and then they realize they've been conned and then they drop off. And, these people then find, new suckers that'll still buy into the story. So, my only advice to people who get approached by those is you really got to dig into go, not what is the reach, but what is the real viewership numbers and who are those viewers and do they match the kind of the messaging needs that you have for your business or yourself.
Yeah. So there's a way, because I know especially for people that are starting out, they're really interested in getting some publicity or being doing some media, getting some media exposure, and for them, they're very anxious to get in and they want to pay. I mean, is there a way that I can check, for instance, um, if this is a real network or what's going on, so we could, weed it out. So, is there any way you can maybe give some advice for someone if somebody's approached by a quote unquote network? Is there a way that we could say, yeah, okay, is there a site they can go to or something that they can check?
Yeah, there's sites that'll actually give you the real viewership. I mean, there's ways to check it out on Facebook and Instagram and all of those stuff. And when Johnny kind of puts this together and posts later, maybe he can put down some of the URLs that people can go to and check out for real viewership and stuff like that. But again, just get that saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it typically is. When someone tells you that, oh, you may not have heard of my network, but I reach a billion people, it's BS. It's just not true. Like I say, you can put a site on the internet and say that you're reaching a billion people, but that doesn't mean that one person is even paying attention to what you do. So you just got to be really cautious and realize that this term network is very different. TV network, E is now in like 140 countries, and any given hour will get more viewers than typically some of these super duper media moguls reach in their lifetime. Uh, because it's just not the same. Somebody coming and looking at a website for 2 minutes doesn't do a lot of good for the marketing of anybody or any product.
But anybody these days could say I'm a media mogul. Like you were saying, they have a website and maybe they have a YouTube channel, right?
I I meet media moguls every day. They remind me, that boy, you must not have been very ambitious. You only have an e network, and we've got 10 of those.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. And then what we'll do is we'll put some of these links that you were talking about on the comments down below for people to go and hopefully check. And, I don't want anybody to get ripped off, especially now. It's easy to check these things, I guess.
Easy. There are sites that'll give you real numbers. There's a thing called the rip-off report that you can go to and plug in the names of some of these things or the people behind them, and you'll hear what other people have to say.
Yeah. No, that's very good. So, Yeah, great conversation, Larry. And I hope you have a wonderful time in San Diego, and hopefully next time we can have you here in person in the studio. It's been really great having you. And you have any thoughts before you head down to San Diego?
No, no. I'm just looking forward to it. It's gonna be nice to get away for a few days. And actually, in LA County, you need to wear a mask now whenever you're indoors. And I'm actually leaving LA County so I could go maskless for the next few days, which is going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, and speaking of masks, I mean, all the restrictions are changing, and we'll talk about it next time. But thank you again, Larry. It's been fun chatting with you, and thank you for all of you watching the show. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and also please give us some comments. Larry and I read all the comments and we try to get back to you guys and hopefully use some of those comments on the upcoming shows. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time.
All righty. Take care, guys.